always, when you design a facade, you don't want a flat facade. You want something that would create depth, and depth creates shadow, and shadow creates contrast, and that contrast is going to create that richness. You know that feeling when you look at a facade and you're like, something is so awkward and it feels off, but it can't really prove it and it can't really explain it. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a facade that looks very awkward and feels really off, but most importantly, I'm going to explain to you how it happens, why it happened, and how to fix it. So if you're interested in knowing more, then please keep on watching. All right, so let me share my screen here. So a client reached out to me and she said, I am building this house. This is in Morocco. And she said, I'm building this house, and for the life of me, I don't know how to fix it. I know it's ugly. I know this is not what I want to build. This is not what I want to live. This is supposed to be my dream house. So I said, okay, why don't you share the plan with me, share the facade with me, and I will see how I can help. So this client, actually, she was a very smart client. She was an engineer, I believe, and she watched a lot of my videos, and she's like, I know something is not working. I can kind of tell, but I don't know like how to take it to the next step. So if you're also there and you're designing your facade and actually feel like nothing is really moving forward, feel free to fill out the form on my website and I can help you with that. But I'll tell you exactly what happened here. So when I looked at this facade, I could immediately tell that you have two windows. The first thing where the eyes land, you have these two windows that are really in the front of the facade. And what the previous architect did, because my client complained and she said, I'm not happy with the facade, can you please do something? So the previous architect went and added this like C shape to the facade and she called it a day. But what this C shape did, it actually ended up hurting the facade more because the eye is looking at these two windows that are perfectly symmetrical. And what you do is you go and you put a C shape, and now you're like saying that this guy is separate from this guy. While they're not, they're twins. They are very symmetrical. You can see the distance to here is the same distance to here, the same distance in between. So there is a symmetry that you cannot fight. And my client was very adamant about not changing her plan because this was her suite parentale, and it means your master bedroom. So she has the bed against this wall, and she had two windows here that we didn't really know where to move them. We tried to like rotate the bed and everything, and she said, no, this is a perfect position for the bed, so figure out something for the windows. So I looked at it and I said, well, there's a symmetry. You have to lean into the challenge. You can't force it. You can't be like, oh no, I'm just gonna fight the symmetry, or I'm just gonna ignore it. Because when you have a composition like this in a facade, the composition is always gonna win. It has the biggest force, and you just have to like give into it and try to work with it instead of fighting it. So the client, the previous architect did is she put the C shape here and she left this one here, which is fine actually in modern and contemporary design, because what she was trying to do is she was trying to create the 1/3, 2/3 rule. And I talk about this a lot in my other videos, but let me show you where that could work and why it didn't work here. So when you do the 1/3, 2/3 rule, so usually you would have something that's like very long and vertical, something that it's its own element, and then you have, for example, two other small windows here, and then you have a balcony or something, okay? Then you can cut this into 1/3, and then you can make this as 2/3. So you have one family. It has to be its own nature. It should not look like these two windows. It should be like its own nature. Then you have 1/3, and then you have 2/3. But what she did is you have two windows that are very identical, and you have a balcony, and then you're cutting this and then leaving this one behind. It's not gonna work because these two are twins. Whatever you do, they have to go together. Okay, so I don't think the 2/3 and 1/3 rule was gonna work here because of just how the composition was just like fundamentally wrong. So let's forget about the 2/3, 1/3 rule. What we're gonna do is we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna lean into that. We're gonna lean into that symmetry. And so when you have symmetry, if you remember back in the math classes that we took when we were in elementary school, symmetry is usually you can have a line in the middle, which is the axis of symmetry, and you can perfectly mirror two things. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go create a perfect axis of symmetry, and then the eye, this is where the eye is going to first land. It's going to land here. So this is where we're telling the eye, okay, come, look here. And then as soon as it looks there, we're going to mirror this to this side and to this side. Now the eye is happy, it's relieved, because like, okay, I saw an axis of symmetry, and then two perfectly symmetrical windows are placed on each side. Now it's not confused. Okay, so I feel like this side of the facade is done. This is symmetrical. There is enough depth. Of course, when I put the axis of symmetry, I added this little sliver of kind of a cutout because I didn't want the heaviness of that axis of symmetry just distort the facade. So just that sliver, it kind of makes it a little bit lighter. It has a little bit of edge, makes it a little bit more contemporary, more modern. So now that's done, we're gonna go to the balcony. The balcony before was just, it had a little awning. It was kind of shy, kind of timid. I always tell you this, when you're designing something modern and contemporary, please don't be shy with your movement, with the elements that you add. You have to have a certain confidence. It needs to read confident. So when you look at this balcony, I didn't want it to just be like a sad balcony, so I did a stone wrap around it. So now this is going to start reading a three-dimensional cube. It's going to read as a cube because, again, always when you design a facade, you don't want a flat facade. You want something that would create depth, and depth creates shadow, and shadow creates contrast, and that contrast is going to create that richness. So you can also see here when I did my windows, I never just put the windows on the flat facade and just call it a day. I would always add a little bit of a thickness to it, so it looks like the windows are recessed. They are like, they have this depth, they have this this thickness to them, and then that it's very, very subtle, but trust me, as soon as I remove it, you will notice it. But when it's there, it makes it a little bit more rich, a little bit more sophisticated and elevated. So back to the balcony, I did that the stone there because then it has a loop, and then the eye is going to start reading it as a three-dimensional thing, so we avoid the flat plain facade. Actually, one of the things that my client told me when we first had our intro call, she said that the first floor and the second floor felt very disconnected. You could actually hide one or the other and you couldn't tell like they actually belonged to the same house. So what I did is when I did the loop for the balcony, I did the same loop here, because she did have all these push and pull, because she did watch my videos and she said, well, I wanted, you said the push and pull and everything, so I was trying to add that to my facade, but then I ended up with all these different planes that felt very disconnected. And I said, okay, yeah, that's fine. The push and pull is still a valid idea in design, but you have to kind of tie it together. So I said, yeah, don't worry, you did great. I like the push and pull. Just make sure you add these strip that's gonna all tie it together. And we did a little bit of stone here, kind of go in an angle to add a little bit of edge, and then another thickness here for this window here at the bottom. So that's pretty much everything we did. So I'm going to show you here on this side. So now you can see how the stone there and the stone here are talking together. You can see how this and this are reading as symmetrical, but again, it's not the symmetrical thing that you see in like Versailles or like the typical conservative symmetry that you see in a facade, but it's still symmetrical. It's still not bothering the eye too much. Of course, I added some greenery because the facade was starting to feel a little bit too stark, so I wanted to soften it a little bit. And as usual, I always add these cutouts here, or like these sliver lights, where it just so the facade doesn't read too heavy, because now it's reading as like, oh, this one, and then you get this one, and then you get this one. It's a kind of a visual trick, and they don't have to be separate pieces when you're building it. You could just like actually carve out a little line, and then it's gonna really help lighten the facade a little bit. So that's pretty much everything I want to discuss in this video. It was a very quick project. Actually, I'm gonna show you here the Revit model that I did. So what I do is actually I always build something in Lumion first, in Revit and Lumion first, and then I do my post-production in AI, because I just don't have time to be doing it in Photoshop and everything. But I will show you exactly how my model looks in Lumion, because one thing I always tell people to not do, don't ever start designing straight in AI. It's gonna steer you in a direction that's gonna be so off, and it's gonna completely shut off your brain, and you're not gonna be able to think clearly, because it's gonna box you in this direction, and then you're not gonna be able to like pull back and really think for yourself. So don't ever use AI as your first resource. Always do your thinking That's why I have so many videos in this channel to help you think, because I don't want you to just look at pretty pictures. I want you to know why things look good. I want you to know why things look bad. I want you to be able to have your own judgment in for design, to have your own critical thinking. So this is the facade. This is in Lumion, and you can see how I just take it to AI just so it gives me the finishing touches in terms of you know, like the lights and stuff. But again, this is exactly the same house, and you can see here how that stone strip, and then you can see the stone strip there, and then you can see how these cutout I was mentioning earlier. So that's pretty much, yeah, the house. And this is just the exterior wall. I just wanted it to have a little bit of angles, and that's why we did the angled planter there to tie it back. Again, one of the big things that the client didn't like was how disconnected they were, so I just wanted to bring everything together for her. So I think one thing I wanted to add in this video is how sometimes the client is always like, oh, can I add an extra material? Oh, can I add this? When you add your material, it needs to serve a purpose. Like, I didn't add the stone here because I wanted to add the stone, because I had to add the stone to add the strip. It was a necessity. You have to give it a reason. You have to give it a job. So the job of that stone is to actually create the strip and create that loop to make me to make that balcony read as a three-dimensional thing and as a cube instead of as a flat two walls that come together shaping an L. So yeah, you have to give your material purpose in order for it to work for you, instead of just looking like wallpaper. And I'm gonna actually, right after this video, I'm gonna shoot another video and I'm gonna show you how another architect put in the material like a wallpaper, flat, and how it just reads really cheap. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you today. If you're interested in seeing more of these mistakes and how to fix them, feel free to go check out other videos on my channel. If you want me to look at your facade and help you with that, feel free to send me an email, or you can fill out the form on my website, and I will get back to you in person to see how we can work together. So yes, that's everything I wanted to share with you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.